Hello, hello. How are you all doing? Welcome back to the chat. We miss you all. Did you all miss us last Sunday? Well, we missed you all, and we are so glad that you are here with us this evening. We hope that you go ahead and invite some others to join us because we're going to have some conversation. So I see people coming in. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Susan. It's so good to see you all. Please, in your chat box, just let us know you're here. Tell us what city you're tuning into from, rather, not to. So we're excited on the guests that we have tonight. We have some ladies, and we're going to do some chit chatting. We have a young lady here from all the way from Elmira, New York. We have another young lady all the way from Buffalo, New York, and we have another young lady all the way from Tennessee. Hey. So we're going to have some chit chat, and we want you to participate in the chat tonight. And you're going to find out that you're going to have an opportunity, hey, to win some prize money. All right. So if you have a Cash App, you can participate. You do still participate if you don't have no Cash App, but you won't be able to win. So maybe if you have a Venmo, we'll still work with you. We got some other things, but come on. Get on into the chat. We're ready to get started. I'm waiting to hear from you all. Come on and let us know. We see you coming in. We see you there. Go ahead and put in your chat your city. Come on. Give a shout out to your city. If you don't know who I am Lady J. Hey, Jeanette Vaughn, and I am the woman who is leading the chat tonight. So we're glad that you're here. We're glad to have Rick in the house. Hey, I know he have Wendy. We're just too excited about the opportunity to come and have some conversation. And the chat is about bringing on guests, women and men. And we're going to be chit-chatting on things that are happening in our life and things that we want to see change. Hey, we see Lakeisha up in the house. Hey, Arlene. All right, come on in. All right. Just for Minister Thomas. Hey, welcome. We're so glad. So we're going to get started. We're just trying to make sure we give people an opportunity to jump on. And my honey is here. Yay. It's just interesting. I don't have him coming on with me tonight, but this is the ladies' night tonight. So we're going to be chit-chatting about some things. So you ready to meet our guests tonight? I hope you're ready. All right. So we're first going to go in alphabetical order, and we're going to introduce this phenomenal woman all the way from Tennessee. And she's going to basically give her own intro. So make sure that you're paying attention to what they're saying. All right. Come on in here. This is Pastor Annette. Hello. Tell us about yourself, and welcome to the chat.
Well, thank you for having me on the chat. My name's Annette Brooks. And yes, I am a pastor. I have 3 children that are adults. Yay. They have their own families. So my husband and I are married, yes, but we're empty nesters now. So it's a good season right now to be in. Do you want me to go into that, what I do during the week?
Yeah, tell us what you do during the week.
Okay, so my week starts off my days usually start off at like 2:30 in the morning. I have prayer at 3 a.m. Hallelujah. And it lasts until around 4 in the morning. I run 2 miles in the morning around 5:30. I get back to make our lunches for my husband and I. We go to work. We work together and we preach together. We do everything together. I prepare our lunches, as I said. And then when we come home from work, I prepare our dinner. sometimes he prepares dinner, so that's great. It gives me a break. We every Friday we have a date night. I'm working on my book, and I study for our services on Wednesdays and Sundays. So and then I usually, my body usually shuts down about 8:30.
Yeah, if you're getting up at 2:30.
Yeah.
So tell us share your favorite color with us.
My favorite color is green. It's green. My favorite place is the Caribbean.
Oh, okay. So your favorite vacay. And now, with COVID-19, we're not able to travel like we used to, but that's important, right? To have a favorite place that even if you can't go, you could think about.
Right.
Maybe you could YouTube it.
Yeah. And then plan to go back or to make another place a new place. My favorite place.
All righty. So we're going to introduce our next guest. Like I said, we're going in alphabetical order. So come on in all the way from Elmira, K. Diggs. How you doing, Carissa?
Hello.
Hey. So tell us, we hear JD in the background, and that's okay because we understand that you have a little one. So tell us about yourself. Welcome to the chat.
Hi, so Ms. Carissa Diggs, and so what I do during the week, I work for a defense contracting company where I'm a manager, engineering manager, and on the side, I do Dig Your Career, which is info videos on how you can be successful as collegiate students in early career to set you up for success in the professional realm, mainly focusing on engineering, but some of it can be applicable to outside of engineering. And my favorite color is purple, and my favorite vacation I would say I just like to be on a cruise. So wherever the cruise ship goes.
Oh, okay, so you cruising, huh? So I know you about missing it about right now because there's no cruises cruising. And so for the weather to be so nice, exactly. we're kind of not here, right? I mean, we're here. We're not able to travel. Yeah, I'm missing. So you are full-time, you are a wife and a mother, and you have your own, would you call it a blog?
Yes, I call it a blog. It's YouTube, and then on LinkedIn, I share like stories as well that are work related. So, not work related, but career centric.
Okay, all righty. So let's now introduce our last lady of the night. All right, are y'all ready for Lady T? Here she is. Hey, Lady T, all the way from Buffalo. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone.
Well, hey, everybody. As you have already heard, I am Lady T, and I'm so excited to be here to chat with everyone, all of the beautiful ladies. A few things about me. Let's see. What do I do throughout the week? Well, I don't have a big, great story as these other two. When they were speaking, I was like, Lord Jesus. But I am a stay-at-home mom. I take care of I'm a stay-at-home mom. I take care of my babies, and when I'm not doing that, I'm mentoring young girls. And if I'm not doing that, I am a photographer. So that's what I'm doing throughout my week. I'm taking care of my babies, or I'm mentoring some young girl somewhere, or I'm snapping the camera. My favorite color, I love the color gold. Like gold is so it's so elegant, it's so pretty. I love it. It's my favorite color. I love it. I love it. Love it. My favorite vacation spot, y'all, I really don't have one. With having kids in the house, I just like to go when I can go be by myself. I just like to go when I don't have nobody tugging at my coat or asking, can I have some of your food off of your plate? It's a vacation for me. So it could be up the street. And I'm excited. What else? Yeah, I think that's about it for my little introduction.
Look at that. That's wait a minute, ladies. I got tired when she was saying at home with her babies. And then, I'm mentoring other girls, and then a photographer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's busy. But that's good, As you get older, the kids get older, then you get to have a little bit more.
Yes, I do.
A little free, free. So, but we're excited that you ladies are here on the chat. We see those that are tuning in. It's good to see Angie and Teresa. I see Mo on here. Come on, thank you for sharing. Let us know what city you are tuning in from. We're excited, and we're about to get ready with the chat, right? So our focus is on relationships and things that are going on in our lives. And so we're going to start off with a question that, like, I'm going to have all of these ladies start off with. And I'm hoping, well, we'll see what happens, because this is a good starter. Okay. So all of us will be on the screen, so you'll get a chance to see all of our reactions and all of that. And so we understand that, Carissa's a mom. She got little ones. So we see little ones come up in the screen with Carissa, or little ones come on with Lady T. We understand that's part of you. And that's the good thing about it, is we don't have to fake the funk and try to present this, this is what no, that's part of you right now. When they start calling mommy, guess what? Nobody else can tend to them right now but mommy. So we understand if you have to click off for a few. But we're going to start our conversation off on, somebody said they would be in Florida right now. That was Kyla. Well, not with all this storm coming. But anyway, the question we're going to start off with is, what type of characteristics you would like for the girlfriends in your life to have, that's in your immediate circle? What characteristics? We talk about, we just had Faith Fest, and John Hannah was talking about circles of friends, and who you have in your life, because basically who you have in your life is a reflection of you. So what characteristics you would like the sister girls around you to have? Let's start off with Carissa. Give us one characteristic.
Trust.
Trust. So tell us a little bit, why trust?
Because, like, for me personally, I get type that I have it all together, and sometimes I want to, like, share, like, I don't, and kind of be able to break down things, but also in a safe space where I don't feel like I'm being judged or, uplifted, or, that type of thing. So I think trust is a big thing for me. Like, you're not about to, trust.
So not judging you, but lifting you up. Right?
Right.
Okay. All right, Lady T, jump on in.
Yes.
I would say one of the characteristics that someone will have to have in my inner circle, listen, she has to be, or they have to be funny. Okay. Laughter is so good. Like, listen, you can get a good laugh and you can lose weight from that, y'all. You get that belly.
Let me laugh some more then. Let me laugh a lot.
You know, it's a beautiful thing when you can gather with other women and you can just laugh, you know, just get that time just to smile and laugh and let your hair down or whatever the case may be and just laugh. So they would definitely have to be funny, honey, because I can't do no driving Miss Betsy dry. I can't do it. I can't do
it. Come on, Annette, jump in. What else for you?
I definitely agree with humor. I had written that down, but I think the one that I would put in the forefront would be integrity. They would have to have integrity in their life, that what they say, they mean, and what they mean, they say, and they do. And so that is something that I really, and they're honorable. So yeah, all those qualities have to run together. The trust, they're honorable, and they'll get this. And I'm like Carissa, I want to be able to share my heart, and I don't want to have someone stab my heart. I want to be able to share it and be relaxed and know that what I've shared with you, you're not going to share with the world on Facebook, or you're not going to share with your friends or your family. I want to be able to trust you. And so again, your word means a lot to me. So if you say it, I'm holding you on your word.
Wow. Let me see what the audience saying. Sisters who you can show your truths. We have, feeling that you're there. We have another one that says, yep, laughter. One sister said, I agree. I need a sense of humor in friends, and trust is important. And praise God, integrity, consistency. So for me, one of the biggest things as I've gotten older and I've had relationships and I've had good relationships, and understand that some relationships are seasonal. Yes. I realized that I need a sister girl to just be truthful. What do I mean by that is, if we're having a conversation and there's something you didn't like, something that you have a concern about or whatever, just telling me. I'm at the age, I don't want to be guessing anymore, because then I know how to engage with you, and if it'll work right off, versus investing a lot of time and realize that you're not funny, or you're very sensitive, or what have you. But the older I get right now, I realize the girlfriends that I want around me are girlfriends that will tell me the truth. Tell me if I have something, in my tooth, or if, my tracks are showing, they're going to tell me,
Yes.
I know. What else? Come on, just jump in and share what else you feel that in this season of your life, the circle of girlfriends and women that you want around you to have.
Mm-hmm. I would say for me, I tell a lot of women when we get on that road of saying, okay, we're going to try to pursue, or let's see where this goes. I tell them, listen, because I am married, because I do have children, I have learned that you have to be particular with the friends that you carry, because they're going to be around your husbands, they're going to be around your children. Most of the times they might be in your homes. So I tell them, like, listen, if you can come to my house without calling me and ring my doorbell, and I come downstairs and I open the door for you, that's real love. That's real love. Okay. Because everybody can't come up over my house, because you have to be protectable of your space. You have to be protectable and making sure that your husband is good, your kids is good. But I said, listen, if you can come, ring my doorbell, and I let you in. That woo-wee, honey, you in the inner circle.
You in there.
Oh, you in there.
We have some people saying someone that will have your back in the
Yeah.
ups and downs, and she's not talking about me to others that are both in a relationship with. Let me just put this out there, okay? And you ladies, you tell me what you think about this. In my experience, I don't, the truth is that whether you're in, and we've seen movies, we've seen it happen, but I think, I don't know what we think. But when we think that our sister girls that are closest to us is not going to talk about us, do you think that we are in denial? And let me put it out this way, because my daughter is on here and I love her to death. Oh, and well, I love her to life. All right. But when she does something that I don't like, right? I'm telling one of my sister girls, I can't believe she did this. Da, 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 da.
Right.
I mean, I go to my husband, but I tell my sister girls, oh, you know what? I don't believe she did this. But I'm the type of person that I don't just go to them and tell them that. I'm hoping that they'll say, well, you know what? Maybe she was thinking this, or maybe she was thinking that. And then I could go back. I go back to that person. That I don't know. I think, I hear us when we say we want somebody to have our back, but at the same time we want them, as Lakeisha was saying, to pull our coattail. How do we have both of that if we don't think that they won't talk about us?
Well, it's something about talking about somebody and then talking about somebody.
Right.
Okay. All right.
I mean, if we're sister girls and I know that you have my back, then yeah, there'll be times where I'll talk to another sister girl just so I get a clarity or I get a sounding board. So let me run this by you. How do you think this is? And I may not even use her name. I could keep it third person, but I just wanted to hear somebody else's opinion, because sometimes I'm too close and I can't give the right perspective. So I might do it that way, but to be talking about her like dogging her out, no, I don't expect that.
Right.
Yeah. And if I hear that,
there's a difference.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a difference.
We're gonna have to have a talk.
Right. We're gonna be chit-chatting, all right.
Carissa, what was you gonna say?
So I was gonna say too, it's a difference of who's in your circle, because there's some people that you can vent to and they'll get out of not really trying to help you, but trying to undermine you, if you know what I mean. So I have been in situations where you get bad advice, so you have to be careful of who you're calling friends. And then one thing I wanted to add is having people in your circle, from what was said at Faith Fest about those that are okay if you're above them, or I forget the phrase, but beneath them. So sometimes you get that jealousy.
And you'll find that.
Sorry if there's a lag.
Yeah, I think Annette can talk to this as well. When you're leading people, for me as a pastor's wife, I've always wanted, I always wanted to be with the women. I didn't always necessarily want to be like, I'm the pastor wife, y'all do this and do that. And I've had pastor wives say, wait a minute, you go shopping with them? You go, I'm like, yeah, okay, something wrong with that. But I also found that sometimes it brought complications, because when it was time for me to lead, they were still like, well, no, we shopping buddies, but no. Right now in ministry, I'm doing this. So, you can find it challenging, so yeah, I'm seeing now, I'm learning now that I do have to have relationships with people that I'm not leading. It's healthier for me, because the type of person I am, I want to be direct. And so, and some people that you lead, you know that they can't take the directness.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know, you like, okay, I gotta just stay leading when sometimes you can kind of get that messed up. But that's one of the things that I wanted us to kind of clarify, because we talk a lot about, we want, you know, we don't want the girl, you know, our girlfriends to talk about us. But I be telling people that's in relationship with me, I talk about you because I know you talk about me, but I'm not talking about you in a bad way. It may be something that come up and I'm like, oh, I don't understand why they did that. Why did they do that? And you know, but I'm talking about them to somebody who care about me caring about them. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And if they're like, girl, yeah, dump them and they wicked and they then that was the wrong person to get from.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, there was a question. Did you see the question? Let me see. Retype the question back in. Be real, not fake. Right. We can talk about somebody good. No, I didn't see the question. Would you retype the question in? Okay, what other characteristics that we want?
I would say for me as well, to add on, because I was listening to while you ladies were speaking, and certain things would come into my mind. But one of the things I wanted to touch on right now is being able to have those girlfriends that if you disagree, it won't break your relationship. Like, we should be able to disagree, get into an argument, or, you know what I mean? I mean, like, we angry, okay, at each other. You know, and we don't, you know, say, well, bump her, you know. No, we need to be able to go through the fire together and come out and still be, you know, friends, you know. So I would say they got to have a strong backbone. You know what I'm saying? Because at all times, I may not be on your side, but my love for you is real. So I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. Maybe in that moment, I'm not going to be your yes woman. Like, I'm not going, yeah, that look good. Yeah. No, if it don't look good, no, sis, put it back. You know, or, you know, if you telling me, you know, girl, I want to go on a diet. Help me with my eating. All right, we're not going to Burger King twice a week. Like, you know, so we need to be able to have a strong backbone, you know, because if we get into an argument, sis, I'm calling you tomorrow and you better be over your attitude. You know what I'm saying? So have a strong backbone.
Oh my God. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. Anybody, and then I have a question that they have, but I really want us to stay on that because that is challenging. We watch girlfriend movies and flicks and all of that, but I think it's the movie Still Magnolias where they fall out with one another or whatnot. But when you fall out with one another and then you don't talk to them and for weeks and weeks, like I don't get that. I don't understand that. I'm like, I'm not going to, you know, I'm not happy all the time. I'm not, you know, like when I wasn't feeling well today. So when before time, I went upstairs, I came down. He said, oh, you done got dialed up, because before that, when I was eating dinner, I was all rough. I mean, it's not that. So when you approach me or when things happen, I'm not always at my best. I'm not always thinking about you. I'm not always not being in a place of not being selfish. Sometimes I am self-focused. Sometimes I am worrying about something else or something happened and it's triggering. So I'm not going to have flowery words every time. So yeah, you call me on it or you do that or whatever. I need you to stay in there with me, you know? So I think that was good. I like that. You know, Annette, Carissa, you want to add to that?
Well, I think you have to be because I'm a little abrasive. I'm blunt. That's the best way I can say it. So when I say something, I need that person to be able to hear my heart and not so much how I hammered it, but hear my heart. And I need a strong girlfriend. I don't need a wimpy girlfriend. I need someone who's going to be blunt to me too. If I walk around with my lipstick smeared up my face, they're going to say, hey, yo, check your face. Or, you know, I need somebody who's going to walk with me in the same direction. And, you know, and even if we don't talk, because the older I get, the less I find friends, or some of my friends are gone. So I have to maneuver to get new friends. So I have to inquire of the Lord, send me a friend, someone who knows me, someone who will see and hear my heart. Because I don't have the time to look. And sometimes where I'm at is not where the friend is. So he has to send the friend to me. Hallelujah. But when I do see or meet the friend, it's like spirit touching spirit. And it's like, there's something between us. There's something that we have connected. And so at that point, so we don't even have to say anything. We could just be in the room together and just be cool and not say one single word. But when we do speak, it's motivating. It's inspirational. And sometimes, you know, I'm getting older and it's like the friends you thought you had, they really weren't your friends. And so I've learned in this little bitty short life of my own that I have to be careful. I have to, and as Apostle Jeanette said, I can't lead the sheep and be on the same plane with them, because they get the ideal that I'm their girlfriend or I'm their best buddy. And I'm like, I'm shopping with you. I'm sharing this experience with you, but we can't get it twisted, because when it's time for me to do what I have to do, I'm still going to do what I have to do. And so I have to be careful when I'm there. I don't want nobody to stumble because of me. So I have to be careful. So I too have to find friendship outside of the ministry.
Yeah. I want to come back to this because it's so meaty, but I want to make sure we hit this question. The question was, how do you prove that I'm going to put it out here so we can see. How do you prove that you are trustworthy if you aren't given the opportunity? Ooh. Let's see. It's a follow-up. If you say you don't want to be judged or close yourself off because you feel like they would judge you, aren't you then in return judging them, especially if they never shown to judge you?
So I would say this. I would say this to answer the first question. You know, how can you show yourself to be trustworthy when you're not given the opportunity? In my mind, how that happens is maybe someone gave you that opportunity the first time and you might have burnt that bridge. But my best, word of advice would be your actions. Sometimes, because people talk, honey, sometimes you got to stop talking and just do. So if you want to be found trustworthy, you have to do trustworthy things. You have to, be mindful in, your actions. If there was something that you did before that made you look a little sketchy, maybe you need not to do that again, so that person that is closed off to you is like, no, you're not trustworthy. You are, you corny, or, you're a liar. You have to make sure that your actions are lining up with what your heart's desire is, which is to be trustworthy. So if that person is closed off, your actions are going to have to make room for you.
Right. That is either that, or you have to realize that person isn't open to you.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're not open to you, that's not a friend. That's not where you need to be investing in. And,
Right.
I've had some experiences where, I'm doing all what I think to do to be trustworthy, and realize that once I didn't give them what they wanted or what their aspects was, I was kicked to the curb, with no explanation, nothing. But what I found is that you first have to know that you want to be in a relationship. Some people want to be in a relationship because of different motives. They may like, for some reason, I tend to attract a lot of women that are very quiet, that are very introverted, and they're like, oh, you outgoing, but they're introverted. So sometimes they're not able to give me what I need because they're introverted, but I'm there giving them because if we get in a crowd of people, they're like, oh, okay, Janetta introduce everybody and she'll be all right, and I'll get a chance to meet people. And it really doesn't have anything to do with really being in a relationship with me, but it's what I can do and open up opportunities for them. And so I've had to find, okay, well, you know what? I have to find people that match my energy.
Yes.
Now, opposites do attract, but I realize that unless I'm always wanting to be in that position where I'm connecting people, I know I'm a bridge. I know that's what I do. I know that's what I'm called to do. But when it comes to sometimes relationships where I want to be sharpened, I want to be introduced, I want to be pulled in, then I have to find somebody that's similar to me. So to answer that, the trustworthy, if you've never been given the opportunity, I would say bye. I mean, that, or you have to check yourself, or and maybe not so quick to buy, but it is, what about asking them? A lot of times, a lot of times we do a lot of guessing and we don't ask. I found that about myself, that I don't even, sometimes if people reject me or they do something, I'll be like, okay. So to protect myself, I drop it, versus saying, why did you say that? Or why did you think that? Or I feel like you don't want me to do that. Can you explain why? Versus me in my head saying, oh man, they just told me really good, in a not so nice way. It hurt my feelings. So I won't deal with you like that. Bye.
Yeah, I think also.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead, baby.
I was just gonna say real quick that for me, because of I guess where I'm at in comparison to the girls that are around me, I feel almost embarrassed. So like, let's say I'm having a situation with my spouse or child. A lot of them want a spouse. A lot of them want children. So I feel like me discussing it or like revealing the truth is almost coming across ungrateful. And so it's not really like, for me, in certain cases, not a trust piece. It's more like I feel like I'm being respectful by not. Sorry. But yeah, I'll stop.
You don't have to stop. We understand. He crying. She said, okay, mute. So I think we all heard what you said. And I think it's tough because when I got married, I was really young. And it wasn't, where we moved, we was the youngest one. It was like a 10-year gap to the next couple. And so a lot of people outside of where we were living was like, you need to get friends that are couples, but we didn't. It was no couples around my husband and I. So a lot of my friends, they are single women, and I've learned to navigate around that. But I think I had a very strong marriage, and he was my friend. And I think, now that I'm older, when he be doing stuff, I be like, now look at him. Look at him. He acting his age. Oh, wait a minute, I forgot he on here. But anyway, and I'm for sure he does the same. But I think that's a prayer, number one. If that's what you desire, you have to pray. You have to put yourself in positions where there's things that you and your spouse can do with another couple. Let me back up. A challenge that we used to have after we left New York and we went to Atlanta, the challenge was my girlfriends were like, your husband's sending you flowers. I'm gonna tell my husband they need to do like Mark. And I was like, oh my God, don't do that. And so then the husbands, they were feeling like, we can't compete, brother. Stop doing all this for your wife. And so I got it, either they wasn't married, or I got it on the other end where it's like, oh my God, the husbands were not feeling like, okay, we can't compete, or not that, I was telling them, look what my husband got me. Look, they were just observing that. So I had to ask God to help me find the relationships that I needed that didn't have to do with my marriage or, what I needed personal. So I think it's a prayer area, but I think you have to be, intentional. Like, I couldn't push that because my husband's an introvert. So even though I want to go out and do a whole bunch of stuff, that wasn't what he wanted to do. So he let me do it with my girlfriends. Anybody else want to add to that?
I think sometimes people come into relationships with preconceived notions that they've heard about you from somebody else. So instead of them getting to know you for who you are, they know you from what someone else has said, or they think they know you from someone else has said. So sometimes on my job, because I meet a lot of women, I usually, and if I'm teaching them at that time, because I'm an inspector for the government, if I'm teaching them at that time, I will say to them, whatever you've heard about me, form your own opinion. Because I want to start with a clean slate. I want them to know me and work with me, see what I do, and think for themselves. Don't go by what someone else has already put in your head, because the person who said it may have issues. And so I don't want them to start off the relationship on a rocky road. And I'm not going to form any opinion about them. And trust comes with the relationship. Trust has to be something that's in process. I just don't start off trusting you. I have to learn to trust you. So as we build our relationship together, then we will learn to trust one another. If you break that trust, I'm understanding that we're all not perfect. We're not perfect. We are going to make mistakes. And so I'm going to weigh, I'm going to weigh it. And, I'll be careful next time how much I release or what I want to share until I feel comfortable enough to share it again or share something else with you. But I'm paying attention to you now. Especially if you've broken that trust. And I just, again, like Apostle said, you have to be prayerful. We should be asking God about everything, everything. It's not something, even down to our friends, our clothes, the toothpaste we buy, everything. He wants to be a part of everything in our life. And so we have to keep him part of it. And, the Holy Spirit is interceding. Jesus is interceding for us, but the Holy Spirit is speaking to us. And if he says, no, don't say that. Don't say it.
Right.
There's a lot of things that we just get so emotional because we are emotional creatures. We blurt out stuff and we aren't thinking. We say stuff, we spit it out before we even think about the process. And so we have to be careful, even in our friendship, we have to be careful what we release. Not everybody's ready for the oil that we have, and we have to be careful.
Right.
We just blurt out stuff, and you can't put toothpaste back in a tube. We can't take the words back that we've said. So we have to make sure that what we say is the right thing in the right time. We got to be on time. We got to be on purpose, even in our friendships. Because, and I hear you, Carissa. Yeah, I want to let my hair down too. And so sometimes I let it down with God because he's my friend. And then he'll direct me on what to say to somebody else at the time. What do you think about this? I'm going through this. Or he'll send somebody who will say to me, I know you're going through something. And then I'm able to release. And I know that he's my friend because he won't tell nobody. That person he'll send won't even know what's going on, but they'll say the words that the Holy Spirit are saying to them, and it'll minister to me. So I have to be careful. You have to be careful. And the person who asked that question, you have to be careful. Because at any moment we can, if we're not careful, can be used by the enemy. If we're not careful. So we have to be careful on every decision we make.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And the thing that I knew starting with this question was going to get us here, because it doesn't matter whether we're married or whether we're single women. We all want to have relationships, and this is just my perspective, and so other people can share their perspective. I've been married for almost 34 years come next year. And when I first got married, I was told, I was actually beat up a lot about hanging with single women and not having married women in my life. Where I was located, the married women in my life, I was 21. I wasn't trying to act like I was 30 and 40 years old. I was going through not able to have children, but I had women who were older than me pounding me about, just in a negative way. And so a lot of times our perspective when we say, oh, okay, you married, you be with married people. And I'm not saying that's not to not do that, but you got to know what your call is. And so the Lord have really allowed single women to be around my husband and I, because my husband, he's more looked at as a father. Even when he was young in his early 20s, people went to him as for wisdom. And, we've had some women, but I know how to put them women in check real quick. Don't even cross the line, okay? But I found that women the Lord was bringing the single women in my life, they needed to see how a married couple interacted. They needed to see that the truth of what we do outside is what's in our house. Or they got a chance to see when my husband came home from work and I came home from work. But when he walked in the house and he said he wanted water or whatever, it didn't matter how exhausted I was. I got up and got him what he wanted. Women needed to see that because they were like, oh, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I'm ready for that. So, and I've had some phenomenal women in my life that is single who bless me. And what I mean by bless me, I don't go tell them my secrets in my marriage, whatever I need to deal with in my marriage, I deal with him. But if I was frustrated, or like, oh, and they would say, you're so blessed. You have everything. And yes, I want to say, but you don't understand. But then I had to step back and say, I am blessed. I am blessed. And so I think it's not so much the other person, that trust piece have to be on both ends. And I think we have sometimes come into things on both ends with a different perspective. But I want to end that and go to our little contest, and then I have a couple more questions and we're going to wrap up. But I want to encourage every woman that's listening that will hear this now and hear this later, that all of us want relationship. We were created that way. We are nurturers. We want to be able to connect. We want others to understand who we are, but not everybody is for us.
Amen.
And not in a negative way. It's just we don't connect. We don't fit. Like I fit with my husband. We are very different, but we work together. If I married somebody that was like me, I'd probably be home with my mama. I know I would, you know. So a lot of times we don't know what we need in a girlfriend. You think about it, some of the characteristics we talked about, those are good on the surface, but when the rubber hit the road, we just need somebody that's gonna stick it in with us and that's gonna love us through all of our mess.
Yeah.
Those that will sacrifice. Like I had someone do something really special for me today, you know, and I called it and I afterwards I said, "Oh God, forgive me." But they had came over and left me a gift because I had mentioned I wanted something to seep my tea in because I got this tea from the Dominican Republic and I was tired of tearing tea bags and putting the tea in the tea bag. So I just put it in the cup and just let it sink on the bottom. And I'm laughing, talking about this. And today, here I am sick. She left that hanging on my doorknob. It's those kind of things that you want in your life, even though you're like, oh, I don't feel I deserve that or whatever. It's those that are thinking about you when you ain't doing nothing for them. And so we want that. And that's going to be our prayer that we figure out how to do that, to be in relationship with other females. It makes our relationship with our men sweeter. It really does. I don't know about y'all. I love my girlfriends. I had my sister girls, okay? So we want to throw out a question to you all. If you can tell us the person's name whose favorite color, well, their favorite place is the Caribbean and their favorite color is green, go ahead and type it in the chat, their first name at least, you will win a prize. Oh, sorry, Minister Thomas, that's not the one. Do we have any more coming in? We got Pastor Doctor. No, Annette. All right, we got Monique. Wait a minute, who was the first one? Monique Wright is the first one coming in on my chat. So yes, it was Pastor Annette. All righty. All right, one more. Tell me. Oh, we'll do one more after we do the one question. Good guessing, everyone. No, just some of y'all just guessing. That's all right. Yeah, it was. Okay, so we have a question out here. And this question is to Pastor Annette, to Annette and Carissa. What relationship are you having to work harder on in this season of your life?
Go ahead, Carissa.
My mute thing was acting up. I would say, so with this whole quarantine, for sure, it's been family. So marriage and motherhood, patience with my son. Normally I'm on the go. I have my routine. And I don't want to say it sounds bad, but I'm not always, I have my space. So learning how to deal with that in this season. And then virtually just staying connected because I work long hours. So I like to just be alone. So learning to stay connected if, people reach out and not keeping my phone on silent all the time or muted and things of that nature. Checking in on the elderly. So like, my grandmother and making sure she's okay, or when she calls that I answer, even just to talk to Jeremiah or see the dog or whoever. It may not be specifically for me, but making sure I just stay connected this time.
Yeah, that phone be on silent, huh? So I have to tell y'all, I know when she don't answer, then I call who? Brandon. I'm like, why do y'all answer this phone? I need to talk to my grandson. Yeah, that's challenging. And one of the things is, Carissa is an introvert. She's like her dad, but can be very social. So people think that they're social, but they get energy with being by themselves. And so, every now and then I tell her, you want me to be one of those mothers that call you 3 or 4 times a day? Huh? I know it sounds crazy.
I guess what I'm working on right now in this season is being how to be a grandmother, to make the mistakes I made with my children, but to make sure that I don't duplicate that. And I want to make sure that my prayer life covering my grandchildren are good. I want to make sure that I continue to encourage them. At a certain age, sometimes as parents, your encouragement changes to condemnation. If you don't do this in a minute, I'm on. I don't want to duplicate that. I want to make sure that I continue to encourage them. I want to make sure that I see them for who they are, their individuality, and learn how to cover each individuality and how to groom them, but stay in my place as a grandmother. So yeah, I don't want to step over the boundaries, because I find myself doing that, and I have to bring myself like, whoa, but I'm just a grandmother. I'm not mom. So I have to learn to do that. And right now I'm working on it. I'm in process, because sometimes I just want to snatch the children. Don't you hear me? But I can't do that. So yeah. I want to make sure that I talk to the grandchildren with love and understanding, but in the same sense, I want to make sure that I'm able to discipline them the way they need to be disciplined. And I'm working on it.
Yeah, I'm working on that too. I have to every now and then I'll be like, how's my baby? My baby. Yeah. And I'm like, our baby. Or then I'm like, oh, they're going back to school. Oh no, they're not going back to no school. And then I'm like, oh no, I know y'all parents. I know. Anyway.
Yes.
That's gonna go right into the question to Lady T. Come on. What are some of your strengths as a mother?
I will believe that at least one of my strengths is being compassionate. Child, I tell you, with growing up, I know that this can go for anybody. You have those memories of with your parents or whatever guardian that may have raised you. You just remember, like, maybe you might have been trying to tell your mama, your grandma, your nana and them something. They just ain't hearing it. Like, they have no kind of compassion for you at all. It was just, this is what I said. This is what's going to happen. And that's just that. So I at least try to, be compassionate with that. Yes, my children know I'm not your friend. I am your mother. So, there's a level of how much I'm going to allow you to say, but I do want you to be able to, dialogue with me, because when they grow up in age and those situations may come, from peer pressure or whatever the case may be. I want them to be able to feel confident enough that they can come to mommy and talk to me about it. So I at least try to know, mommy's listening, mommy's giving you this open opportunity to share with how you feel. After how you feel, after you tell me how you feel, I'm definitely going to come back in and say, okay, this is what it is. But I gave you that opportunity to be able to share with me. So I would say that one of my major strengths is being compassionate towards my children in this particular parenting era.
Ooh, look, let me tell you all that's out there that's sticking in with us. I told these ladies, look, we're gonna try to narrow this conversation down, and we're at the hour. I'm like, oh Lord, I knew I shouldn't have started with that first question because I knew I was like, it's so much in there, so much we haven't touched, but I want to respect their time and respect your time. So we have one more giveaway, and here is the question. Name the person who said you are in their inner circle if they come down and open their door for you. We can't count you. Come on now. Get
off the line.
Well, we have to give it to him. That was Lady T who said that. If you all are typing in, they probably like, okay, who? Wait. If you like, Kyla, I'm sorry, you just a few seconds. They're like, wait a minute. It's based on what's coming up on my screen. Okay. I know they all coming in, Lady T. So make sure you drop the Cash App in the thing. Let me see. Ooh, I'm nervous to speak up, but I just wanted to say how blessed and thankful that Miss Vaughn taught my child and followed them all the way through adulthood, always encouraging Amber and Marisa. Oh, it's one of my parents. Oh, God.
Wow.
Yeah, I know they're getting married and growing up in college. Oh, it's making me feel we're older. So thank you so much. I'm glad you spoke up. It's important. So we have a winner, Monique and Marquise. Minister Thomas, make sure you drop your Cash App, or you all have my inbox. Just drop it, and we're gonna give you a prize. So we have one more, and that is, now you're gonna really have to think about this. You got to think about this. Ready?
Let's
go. Don't be typing it in because it's not gonna be what you think it's gonna be. You ready? All right.
Yeah.
So this is one of the questions. I want you to answer it in the chat, okay? So you have to answer this question for the prize, okay? What are some of the things you wish you didn't have to do? Name one thing that you didn't wish you had to do during this season. So, Carissa, you was going to answer that. Tell us, what is one thing that you wish you didn't have to do?
Ooh, just one? I have a list. But one thing I didn't wish I had to do was, which one should I say? Just being still as much as I have been in this season, like really not my norm. So I wish I could be traveling or work-related travel, something like, and then with New York having more than half the country on quarantine notice, can't really go much of anywhere. So I just wish I didn't have to be still in this season.
Isn't that interesting? Let's see what they all said in our audience. So Kyla, you're the first one to come in, so you'll be winning a prize. Kyla's thing was to not have to pay bills. And Kylene, hey, to be grown. Yes, when you're a kid, you ain't got to worry about nothing. Gift of travel time. That's Pastor Michael. Sherry, pay bills. Angie, cook. She don't want to cook. Oh my gracious. So there's a lot of things we don't want to do, but we have to do it. So we want to thank you for joining the chat. I want to thank these ladies who are phenomenal and giving up their time. And what we want to do next week, we want to keep the girl chat going on. If you're not following Lady T, she just needs to get her own page and move it out of her personal page so that she does a chit chat or girls chat.
Girl Talk Live.
Girl Talk Live. So you definitely want to connect with her. She's a gifted photographer. Connect with her, Carissa. Follow her on her, excuse me, on her channel. She has a YouTube channel and she also is on Facebook. And then Annette, we're waiting for your book.
Yeah, me too.
We're going to be getting her book. So what we want to do for next week, and I want to challenge you ladies to do, I want you, if you're available, to come back, but I want you to invite another woman to come with you. And we're going to finish these questions and then we'll send out some more. But I really want us to really dig in around this relationships around with other women. Okay. So we want to say thank you, ladies. And we're going to say goodbye to everybody else. Well, the chat is over. I can't believe it. But I want to thank you all for coming. Make sure you send me your Cash App or your Venmo. Make sure you join us on next Sunday as we continue the chat. We're going to be chatting about a lot of things, and we're going to be doing some cooking. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of things. Stick with us, and you will have some fun. I guarantee it, okay? This is the chat. Have a good night, everyone. We'll bring the ladies back on so they can say good night. Y'all want to say good night?
Bye. Bye. Later.